Welcome to the Child and Adult Care Food Program, CACFP, AR, CNP application training. We're excited to have you here today as we share bite-sized learning and give you snackable skills. Today, we'll take you through everything you need to know to successfully submit your CACFP sponsor and site application. Our goal for today is simple. By the end of today's training, you will feel confident navigating the AR-CNP system, completing your CACFP application, and knowing the resources available to support you. Together, we'll cover the essentials in a way that is easy to understand so you can walk away with the tools you need to succeed. Before we dive in, let's acknowledge while this training is important, it does not cover the entire scope of the program. It's crucial that you review all handbooks, manuals, alerts, and notices that provide further guidance on how to operate the Summer Food Service Program. You are responsible for knowing and understanding these resources as well. Let's get started with our training objectives. Today, you will gain a comprehensive understanding on how to complete a Child and Adult Care Food Program, CACFP, sponsor and site application in AR-CNP. You will learn how to navigate AR-CNP and submit all required forms in your application accurately. You will feel confident in understanding sponsor and provider performance standards, the VCA requirements, to ensure that your program is financially viable, administratively capable, and program accountable. Let's talk about your superpowers when it comes to running a successful CACFP program. These 5 USDA resources are like your toolkit, your GPS, and your safety net all rolled into one. Let's break them down. Number 1, Code of Federal Regulations 7 CFR Part 226. This is your rule book, the official regulations that govern the CACFP program. Think of it as your what, why, and how of CACFP. It covers eligibility, meal patterns, reimbursement, and more. If you ever wonder, can we do this? This is where you check first. Number 2, FNS Instruction 796-2 Revision 4, Financial Management. This one is all about the money. It tells you how to manage your CACFP funds responsibly, what is allowable, what's not, and how to document everything. It is your go-to for budgeting, spending, and staying review ready. Number 3, USDA handbooks. These are your friendly guides. They break down complex rules into plain language with examples, checklists, and tips. Whether you're new or experienced, these handbooks make compliance a lot less intimidating. Think of the handbooks as your go-to guide. Again, it's packed with everything you need to run a compliant and confident program. Number 4, Crediting Handbook for CACFP. Have you ever wondered what food item counts towards a reimbursable meal? Well, this handbook is your credibility compass. It helps you determine how foods credit toward meal patterns, so you can serve meals that are both nutritious and reimbursable. Number 5, your food buying guide. This is your shopping sidekick, available as a website, mobile app, and PDF. It helps you figure out how much food to buy and how it all credits. It is perfect for planning menus and ensuring portion sizes are spot on. These resources are here to empower you, not overwhelm you. So bookmark them, use them, and don't be afraid to reach out if you need help navigating them. Remember, you got this. Includes reviewing the sponsor provider performance standards of VCA. We will then share steps on how to log into AR-CNP, and then listen to our expert application coordinators explaining how to navigate and complete each section of the CACFP application. The Arkansas Department of Education may only approve applications of sponsors that meet the 3 performance standards: financial viability, administrative capability, and program accountability. ADE must deny applications that do not meet all of these standards. To ensure a complete understanding, let's review the Sponsor Provider Performance Standards of VCA. First, a sponsor provider must show in their application and management plan that the program has financial viability. Your program must have the fiscal resources to establish and maintain program operations without federal CNP monies. Secondly, sponsors and providers must show in their application and management plan that the program has administrative capability. Your program must be able to provide program benefits to all participants in a non-discriminatory manner and have the people in place with the expertise to produce quality paperwork. Lastly, and more importantly, sponsors and providers must show in their application and management plan that they are accountable to their program by having effective internal controls in place. This includes adequate record-keeping policies and program operation procedures to ensure that all funds in the nonprofit food service account are spent on expenditures that are reasonable, allowable, appropriately documented, and necessary, and that all reports and claims are accurate. Access the system by typing the URL found on your screen into the address line of your web browser. Enter your user ID and password and then click Log On. If you participate in more than one food program, you will be taken to your program page. Your program page will list different tiles of each program in which you participate. Click the Child and Adult Care Food Program, which is the green tile, and then select Applications. Then you will see the splash page and a green line at the top indicating that you are in the CACFP program. The splash page is where you'll get the latest notifications about your application. Are your fire and health inspections current? Don't let this hold up your application. Now is a great time to schedule your inspections. Do you have any staff changes? Contact your application coordinator today at 501-324-9502. Now let's dive into CACFP applications. Did you notice the green line at the top? This lets you know that you are working in the CACFP program and application. The first link, Sponsors Manager, will take you to your sponsor's profile, site, and whole information. The second link, Application Portal, will give you access to all your program applications and let you see mass alerts from ADE under Messages. The Application Packet Center is where you will see all application components for your application. Application Packet Daycare Home is for the daycare sponsor's application. Advance Request Link is for daycare homes sponsors to request cash advances for the current year. The Downloads form have all your forms for downloading any forms that you need for CACFP. The document library contains all downloadable documents, and the discussion board is a place where providers can be a part of the community of best practices. Please click Application Packet Center to start your CACFP application. Click 2025 through 2026 to apply for the current program year. Once you've arrived at your application packet, will you please pay close attention to the green line in the upper right corner to ensure that you are in the current program year. Below the year, you'll find the CACFP details, packet submit and approval dates, as well as your packet status. Below there, you will find the application coordinator that has been assigned to your application.
Below, you will see each of the form documents in your application, As you complete each form, you should see a green check mark next to it. This means that the section is fully completed. If you see an arrow, that means the form is still incomplete and it needs attention. A couple of key things to remember. Clicking Modify allows you to edit the form. Clicking View lets you see the form without making changes. On the far right, you will see the status of each form. You won't be able to press the Submit for Approval button until the entire application is fully completed. If the button is grayed out, that means something is still missing. The goal is to have all green check marks beside every form before submitting your application. Now, let's go to your sponsor application and press Modify. Once you click on the sponsor application, you want to make sure that you put in your correct street address to the sponsor site and also the mailing address. Make sure all the information that you have is accurate and it is correct.
In the sponsor application, you will enter the contact person, address, date of birth, and phone number of each staff member for your program. If you have any staff changes or a new staff member, a certificate of authority will need to be completed and uploaded to the attachment list. Please notify your application coordinator of any changes. Please keep in mind that the board chairperson and board president, they are one and the same. Select from the list below how you will ensure equal access to program benefits and how you will provide information about your organization to others. You will check all that apply. Now for your meal service. Do you plan to purchase meals from a vendor or school? Do you sell meals to another agency or school? Are meals prepared in a central kitchen and delivered to another CACFP site operated by the sponsor? How does the sponsor organization determine the effective date of income eligibility forms? Do you use the date of the signature of the parent or guardian, or the date of categorization by sponsor representative, or is it not applicable? On question 53, you will select cash in lieu. We are no longer offering commodities for the 26 program year.
Once we get to the very end of this application, you want to ensure that you have read everything before you have placed a check mark, ensuring that everything is accurate and true in your application.
Now let's go to the sponsor certification page. Click Add.
In this section of the application training, you will certify different sections. First, you will certify that the institution or any of its principals are not on the National Disqualified List or have not been declared ineligible to participate in any other public funded program. You are also certifying that you have an outside employment policy. Then you will certify that there are not any criminal convictions, and providing false certifications will result in you being placed on the National Disqualified List. Then you'll certify if you're practicing any less than arm's length transaction that you will notify us. You are also certifying that you will follow all performance standards of VCA. You will be certifying that you will retain all CACFP records, including meal service, participants, training, and fiscal records for 5 years plus the current year. You will also certify that you understand that if this application does not meet all of the requirements in the Child and Adult Food Care Program regulations, ADE must deny your application. You are also certifying that this application has been reviewed and any necessary changes have been made, and that the information on this application is true and correct to the best of your knowledge. You will also certify that you have disclosed all owners, responsible principals, and responsible Responsible individuals as defined by the Child and Adult Care Food Program regulations, and that you will update and notify ADE with any changes in ownership, responsible principals, or responsible individuals. Remember, if you have any new staff after completing this application, a certificate of authority will need to be completed and uploaded to the attachment list section. Please notify your application coordinator of any changes.
Now let's go to the Board of Directors and Principals. You will click Add. Click Add Member. When adding a board member, select Member Type from the drop-down title list. You will list the person's length of time on the board. You will enter their first name and last name with the salutation. List the date of birth, email address, phone number, occupation, and current employer. Provide the current employer's address and the board member's mailing address. Your board must consist of an odd number in the event of a quorum during the meeting. Keep in mind the board chairperson and the board president are one and the same. No more than 49% of the total makeup of the board of directors may be employees receiving compensation from an institution and or family members by blood or marriage. This information must be updated immediately if there are any changes in the board members or key members such as director or any authorized personnel. Once completed, you will click Save. Please remember, if you have any new staff after completing this application, a certificate of authority will need to be completed and uploaded to the attachment list. Please notify your application coordinator of any changes.
Now we are going to discuss the budget. You will click on View to see the budget and modify or revise to make updates to the budget. Once you are done and when everything is saved without errors, the budget will have a green check. Be sure that everything entered in the budget, all costs, are reasonable, allowable, necessary, appropriate, and documented. Once the meal rate calculator has been completed, please contact your application coordinator for assistance with this form. This form will calculate a perfect world scenario of the maximum estimated reimbursement. You will need to allocate either the entire estimated reimbursement or a budget based on historical data. Costs will be broken down into operational costs, those costs used in the meal production, and administrative costs, which can be used toward administrative salaries, office supplies, and other administrative costs. Section A will cover anticipated annual CACFP reimbursement. You will start by entering the number of sites on this application. If you serve 12 sites, you will enter the number 12. Next, we will enter the projected total annual revenue. This can be the same as the estimated reimbursement, or the amount may be the estimated reimbursement plus any other funds utilized on the food program. The amount listed in Section A, Question 1 will need to match the amount in Section F, Question 4. At a minimum, in the budget, at least 50% of the funds must be allocated to food and milk cost. Up to 35% can be allocated toward operational cost. Those costs can include food service labor, supplies such as plates, napkins, utensils, and food delivery expenses. And a maximum of 15% can be allocated to administrative cost, administrative salaries, and office supplies. Section B will cover operational expenses. We will start with food costs in line 2. Enter the total estimated cost of food and milk. The other operational cost line items can be entered in lines 3 through 10. These include facilities and space, supplies and equipment, purchase services, financial cost, media cost, unaffiliated facility cost, and other items not listed above. Not all items listed are required to be utilized. If it does not apply to your organization, you can leave it with zeros. However, any items listed outside of the food and labor cost, documentation or proof of those costs will need to be uploaded as part of the application. This can include bills or contracts. Next, we'll enter the operational total food cost in line 1. You will enter the position or title, the employee's name, specific duties, number of hours worked per day spent on food service, number of operating days per month, on average we use 21, hourly wage, monthly taxes, monthly benefits, and the number of operating months per year. The monthly budgeted amount and total amount will automatically calculate based on the information entered. Be sure to click Save and Finish for the cost to be added to the budget. In section C, directly under the operational cost, the net operating amount will calculate what remains from the projected total annual revenue and what has been spent in the operating expenses. Section D will cover administrative expenses. Remember, no more than 15% of the estimated reimbursement can be allocated to administrative cost. No food or meal production cost will be included in administrative cost. Excluding the meal cost, the administrative cost will include the same line items as the operational cost. Similar to operational cost, any line items utilized outside of labor cost, documentation or proof of cost will need to be uploaded as part of the application. Section E, total administrative expenses. In this section, the provider will list any sources of funding for operating costs outside of CACFP. In this section, the provider can request a waiver to exceed the 15% administrative limit. Also, Section E will calculate and list the 15% limit that can be allocated to administrative costs. Section F, Summary, will review the total expenses and the total estimated reimbursement. Question 1 will add up all the costs listed as the estimated and operational expenses. Question 2, the provider will enter the estimated reimbursement from either the meal rate calculator or the average of historical data. Question 3, if the provider uses other funds towards the food program, those funds will be listed in this line item, and then a description of income will be provided in the explanation box. Question 4 will add together question 2 and question 3 for the total income for the food program. This number should match the number in Section A, question 1. The final part of the budget is uploading documents or proof of cost. These documents may include contracts for services such as pest control or trash, bank statements, copies of statements such as gas, water, or electric, and lease agreements. This can be done by clicking Add Attachment in this section. Please remember that throughout the budget process, all procurement requirements and guidelines must be followed. Be sure to always click Save and Finish at the bottom of the screen.
Once you have pressed Finish, it's time to click on the Management Plan. Once you get to your management plan, please remember that your management plan is the Compliance VCA Performance Standards.
You need to complete every question as it pertains to your institution or program. If you have any questions, refer to the Guidance for Maintenance Plans and Budgets Handbook. If you think the question do not pertain or are not applicable, or if you need help with Guidance for Management Plans and Budgets Handbook, reach out to your application coordinator. ADE is obligated to monitor all institutions, nonprofit food service accounts, and review supporting documentation. I describe policies and procedures for financial management your organization has on file. Section lists funds and individual responsibles. Section 2, organizational Capability lists your employees, their titles, and their tasks. The organization ensures that employees do not have criminal conviction. Explain how your organization maintains the confidentiality of income eligibility information for individual households. Identify the procedures used to ensure that menus kept on file include the date of service and the exact food served. Check all that apply. What methods does your centers use for recording meal counts? Check all that apply. Ensure that staff record meal counts at the point of services. Check all that apply. Procedures does your organization use to determine accurate meal counts for claim submission? Check all that apply. Please describe your alternative plan whose meals are not accepted for food safety violation when meals are delivered or vended or through a central kitchen. If you are a for-profit sponsor, any month that your free reduces less than 25%, you may not claim or be reimbursed. Section 3, training. All sites must receive at least one training session per fiscal year from October the 1st to September the 30th. You must keep records for each section, including the agenda, date, location, and sign-in sheet with signatures of all eligible participants. For guidance, you can use the CACFP training form provided by ARADE. Additionally, the trainer must have completed a CFP workshop or training section offered by the state agency. There are suggested training topics listed below: general program policy and requirements, income eligibility application, purchasing of food and non-food items, sanitation and safety requirements, review procedures, nutrition, food allergies. Question 2 through 4 are answers for yes or no. 4, select which tax staff members will be trained on CCLP responsibilities each fiscal year. Check all that apply. Section 4, monitoring. This only applies to sponsor when multi-CACLP sites. Please read the following policy. You must honor each 6 bullet point policies. Sponsors with more than one facility must document and meet the required staffing ratios. Complete the monthly staff requirement checklist items. Keeping eligibility. All documents that pertain to your program, you must specify the location of CACP records for the current fiscal year. Question 2. The organization must retain CACP records for at least 3 years plus the current year. The organization must indicate where the documents from prior program years are stored. Question 3 and 4. Describe the procedure for distributing and collecting income eligibility application and update enrollment forms. 6. Board governance. 1. How often does the governing board meet? 2. Describe the governing board's role in approving physical action, policy, decision, or administrative action. You must answer yes or no to all required questions listed 3 through 6 about your board governance. For questions 7 through 10, you need to provide those documents and upload them in your CCP application upload section. ADE/SNU is a word that some for-profit organizations do not have board governance. Procurement. Describe the organization procurement procedures for purchases. You will be able to get assistance from the ADE/SNU procurement policy listed in the download library of the CNP portal. You must list at least 3 vendors you purchase your food from. The CACFP management plan must be completed by institutions/sponsoring organization participating in the CACFP.
Once you have completed and you press finish, let's move on to the food production facility list. Press details. Once you get to your food production facilities page, you will click the Add Facility to enter the information about your meals in preparation and production. In your food production facilities, you are going to list the facility's information, the facility's address, the facility's contact, and the vended facility information.
This section is the checklist summary. You will click Details. On this screen, you will click your program's name under Sponsor. The checklist will generate your required documents. Please click the paper clip to attach your files. Click Choose File, select the file you want to attach, type the name of the file for clarity, click and save. Click the blue box to submit the document to ARD. Once attached, you can view or modify the files. Click Save. This section is Disclosure of Lobbying Activities. Click Details. Before entering into a federal agreement, you must certify and disclose any lobbying activities. This is applicable to grants, subgrants, cooperative agreements, and contracts exceeding $100,000 in federal funds. Confirming that no federal funds have been or will be used to try to influence governmental officials or members of Congress about federal contracts, grants, loans, or agreements. Failure to comply with these requirements may result in substantial civil penalties for each violation. This certification is based on Section 1352, Title 31 of U.S. Code. Noncompliance may result in civil penalties ranging from $10,000 to $100,000 per violation. This section is previous year's received funds. Click Details.
Notes from your application coordinator can be viewed under Application Packet Notes for Sponsor. Click View.
Do you have any additional documents to add? Click Add Attachment. Click Choose File, select the file you want to attach, type the file name of the attachment for clarity, click Save.
Now you will click Site Application to enter information for all your sites.
Click Add Site Application to enter your information for each of your sites. Click Modify to make site changes.
After selecting Add New Site, enter the name and county of the site and click Save. After selecting a facility, now you will enter your license information. For question 1, if you are a child care center, you will select Public Entity from the drop-down menu. After entering your license number, press the gray Retrieve Data button. Your daycare information will be populated in certain questions. Fill out the rest of the information that they did not populate. For at-risk site and adult daycares, you will select Exempt and you will enter your license information later on down the page if applicable. Addresses. Now you will enter your street address as well as the mailing address. If your street address is the same as the mailing address, you will select the box that says they are the same, and it should populate the information. In the contact section, you will enter your site administrator. This person is in charge of the food service at the facility on a daily basis. This person must also be trained on CACFP program regulations and guidelines. The review team will expect to see whoever is listed as a site administrator during the review. In the site information section, select the type applicable to your program, enter correct enrollment information. If you're a child care center, adult care center, or outside school hours center, enter your free, reduced, and paid enrollment. If you are an at-risk program, enter your total free enrollment. Then select your tax status, for-profit or non-profit in the drop-down. If you are for-profit, select your eligibility status and provide enrollment. For question 23, select affiliated or unaffiliated. If you are affiliated, it means that the site is a part of the same legal entity as the sponsoring organization. Unaffiliated means the site is not part of the same legal entity as the sponsoring organization. Question 24, select the age group served by your program. In question 25 and 26, enter the date of your health and fire inspection. Please keep in mind, health and fire inspections are good for 1 year. For question 27 through 30, enter your food permit license information. Enter the county the permit was issued, the license number, and the expiration date. Now on the schedule section. For question 31,
Select all months you will operate. Is your site open 24 hours a day? Select yes or no in question 32. For question 33, enter your facility's open and closing time. If your facility is open during the weekend into the operating hours, you're allowed to serve 2 meals and a snack or 2 snacks and a meal. So you select all applicable meal types. For each meal type selected, select the meal service days. Then select your meal service start and end time. Select from the drop down if you use a vendor or self-prep. For at-risk, meal service information starts on question 43. You are allowed to serve 1 meal and a snack or 2 snacks. Select all applicable meal types. For each meal type selected, select the meal service days. Then, select your meal service start and end time. Select from the drop down if you use a vendor or self-prep. For at-risk sites, you are required to have an educational and/or enrichment activities. For question 47, select which one applies. For question 48, please explain in detail the type of activities that participants would complete. For question 49, enter the elementary, middle, or high school the child would attend if he or she lived next door to the site. For question 50, select yes or no if you have a food service contract. If you do not have a food service contract, select no and move on to the next section. If you do, select yes, select what vendor you have, and enter your food service license number. In the next section, you will enter the ethnicity data. For question 51, you will enter the geographic area percentages for Hispanic and non-Hispanic population. For question 52, enter your participants percentages for Hispanic and non-Hispanic population. For question 33, enter the racial participation data from the geographic area that your facility is located. You can find this information on census.gov. For question 54, enter your racial participation data for your facility's participants. Now this section is for at-risk sites only. You will answer yes or no for questions 64 through 74. This section is for adult daycare sites only. Adult daycare sponsors will answer the yes or no questions for question 75. For question 76, describe how your center ensures reimbursements are claimed only for meals served to eligible adult daycare participants. Please be as specific as possible. For questions 77 through 81, this is where you will enter information about your adult care license. Emergency shelter site. For emergency shelter site, you will answer yes or no for question 82. For question 83, if you select yes, please describe how you will make sure you are only reimbursed for eligible children who reside there. Please be specific as possible. Now, for the final part of the site application, you will click the box to certify that everything that you enter in the site information is accurate to the best of your knowledge.
Return to your application packet home page. Your application is complete when you receive and see all the green check marks. A red Submit for Approval button will appear. This is an indication that your application is ready to be submitted for review and approval to ADE. Click the red Submit for Approval button. Once you submit your application, you are unable to make any changes. After you have submitted your application for approval, an application coordinator will review your application. If more information is required, you will receive an email with the 15-day notice. Please review the 15-day notice and make all necessary changes immediately. The sooner you submit all required changes, the sooner your application can be approved. If all required information is completed and/or uploaded, your application will be reviewed again for final approval. Your patience and understanding are appreciated. We are a small and diligent team working to ensure your application is approved in a timely manner.
Thank you all for your attention and participation today. You have taken an important step to ensuring that your program is set up for success, and we hope you now feel ready to tackle your CACFP sponsoring site application in AR-CNP. As a reminder, this training does not cover everything, So make sure to reference key resources like 7 CFR Part 226, the CACFP Financial Management Instructions, and the USDA handbooks. All of these will help you stay compliant and ensure that you're providing the best service possible to the children and families you serve. If you have any questions or need any further assistance, please don't hesitate to call us at 501 324 9502. Ask for your application coordinator. We are here to support and serve you every step of the way. I want to thank you again for your commitment to serving healthy meals to children and adults. Your dedication truly makes a difference in reducing food insecurities. Have a great day, and we look forward to seeing you succeed.